Mary Joan Foreman was born in the town of Monrepo on the island of St. Lucia. She is the third girl in a family of 6 girls and 2 boys. Mary attended high school on the island and excelled in sports.
I love sports in school. School was really fun in St. Lucia because you grew up with the same set of children from kindergarten all the way up to high school, so everyone knew everyone.
But Mary's life would take a sudden turn when her father passed away at only 44. The older children all took jobs, and Mary worked at a Chinese restaurant and later a clothing factory. She often would depend on her grandmother for support.
She was a very humble lady, and she lived to be 95 years old, and she was so giving. Everyone in the community called her Mom Belle. And every if you wanted some advice, you go to her. She always had some kind to say. That was my role model.
During a babysitting job, Mary unexpectedly found herself with the opportunity to go to America. She would accompany George Foreman to Houston on a temporary visa to testify for George in a custody dispute. And after the trial, George confided in her.
So by the time my 6 months came, he was in love, and he was like, "You can't go back." And we were going to the movies. He's like, "Let's go to the movies." And he said, "I'll be right back." And he came back with a little ring. You can barely see the diamond. And he was like, "Can you marry me?" And I was like, I didn't know what to say, but then I was like, "Okay, yes." But he was a nice guy. I mean, he reminded me of my dad, really kind. A family person. He loves his mom. And, I was like, you can't do better than that.
Mary became indispensable to George's many career endeavors. When he decided to get back in the ring at the age of 38, Mary was there to help as an assistant, taking the kids everywhere with them.
The older kids were like, "No, you're crazy. You shouldn't do that." But with me, I didn't know anything about George's career before. I'd never seen him box before. I didn't even know him as a boxer. But I helped him all through it, from the beginning all the way, because back then he didn't have all those people working for him, so it was just me helping him and a few other family members.
One of the primary reasons that George got back in the ring was to help fund a charity he had created called the George Foreman Youth Center. Mary would also be a driving force in the Foreman family's philanthropy. Education was a particular interest of hers.
I didn't get to go to college, and I've always wanted to go to college. And I had to raise my kids, and I wanted to be there for them. I wanted to be there to pick them up from school and from A to Z. So I was like, when everybody grew up and leave the house, then I'll go back to college. But so the main focus and the main thing is to help children that can't afford college and they want to go, to help them.
Pediatric AIDS also became an interest of Mary's after learning of the problem from Dr. Aden Rios.
We were talking about the transferring of AIDS to children, and that was when AIDS just started, and it was a bit scary. So he told me that there was a program that the mothers can take the pill, the medicine, and then the children won't be born with the AIDS virus. And I said, boy, I would love to do that in St. Lucia.
But the limelight from her community service was never of much interest to the shy Mary.
Usually we'll do something and we won't tell anybody. Because, my grandmother always said, if you want the blessing, then you don't let the whole world know.
One instance where she was squarely in the spotlight was a reality show produced about her family called Family Foreman.
It was a really fun experience, but when people started realizing who I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like the publicity of things. George is the movie star, and I like to be the one that kind of keep him clean so people can see him shine. Coming to America, I've learned if you're willing to work hard and you're an honest person, you can be anything you want to be. And so many people want to help you if you want to be something in life. I'd like to just keep giving as I see fit, and keep helping people. And I just hope that I leave that with my children and my grandchildren when I leave this world. And I think probably because my father died so young, I think that's what molded me, because he was an only child and his mother died young. So I have this thing about children, you know. I can't see a child hungry, and I can't see a child can't pay their school, or I can't see a child sad. I think that put a little seed inside of me to help every child.